This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so the British Boxing Board of Control have put out a statement following the WBC statement clearing Conor Benn of any intentional wrongdoings. And this is what the British Boxing Board of Control had to say via Robert Smith, the General Secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control. And this is what he had to say. The British Boxing Board of Control Limited is aware that the WBC has considered two positive findings in relation to Mr. Conor Benn, who at the time the relevant samples were taken in 2022 was a licence holder with the British Boxing Board of Control. The British Boxing Board of Control have not been party to the review conducted by the WBC and has not been provided with sight of any evidence submitted on Mr. Benn's behalf. The British Boxing Board of Control is aware that WBC has conducted its own review into at least one of the two positive findings and reached its own decision, published today, 22nd of February 2023. For clarity, while the British Boxing Board of Control wishes to make clear that it respects the WBC is a sanctioning body and not a governing body. The British Boxing Board of Control was the governing body with whom Mr. Benn was licensed at the material time, and as such, any alleged anti-doping violations shall be dealt with in accordance within its rules and regulations. The British Boxing Board of Control has adopted UKAD rules published by UKAD, and those formed part of the rules in which Mr. Benn was bound. As such, the decision of the WBC does not affect the ongoing implementation of the British Boxing Board of Control's rules and those of UKAD. The UKAD rules make clear what conduct constitutes anti-doping rule violation as defined in those rules, and with the WAD code, specifically set out in circumstances in which such violations can be committed by way of strict liability. So there it is. That's the statement from the British Boxing Board of Control. I don't know why they have to try and make it look like it's some kind of legal paraphernalia. It's ridiculous. They're a self-governing body. Just put it out in plain, simple English. I can't stand all this legal jargon. I really can't. It pisses me off. Anyway, so basically what they're saying is, in a nutshell, or in an eggshell, I should say, is that just because the British Boxing Board of Control, just because the WBC have cleared Conor Benn, does not mean that they are going to clear Conor Benn. And they will not clear Conor Benn until Conor Benn provides them with the information so they can do their own investigation alongside UKAD. Now, firstly, UKAD didn't find anything wrong with Conor Benn's samples because they tested him and come up with nothing. So that will tell you a couple of things. UKAD are either useless or UKAD are easily to manipulate. It's one of the two, isn't it? The fact that they couldn't find anything but VADA did, that tells you there's a problem with UKAD, right? Now, I don't know why they felt the need to put out this statement, because really what they should have said was the WBC have cleared Conor Benn, and therefore we're going to pretend that we're going to investigate it and we're going to do exactly the same thing what the WBC is going to do, but we're going to draw it out a little bit to make it look like that we're actually investigating it, actually looking at it, and we may actually do something different. But we're not going to really. We're just going to follow WBC's lead. Because that's what the British Boxing Board of Control do. They don't make their own decisions. They always follow the lead of other people. They look at public opinion. They look at all those kind of things. Why? Because they don't want their reputation in tatters. They're frightened to death. They are squeezing a living out of boxing. They need people like Conor Benn in boxing. Now, I'm not suggesting for a second that Conor Benn is guilty. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the British Boxing Board of Control will not do anything to contradict anyone else. They won't do that. So Conor Benn, he knew that. For sure he knew that. So did Eddie Hearn. You go to the WBC, you provide them with a 270-page document, which is weird, right? A 270-page document when you could have just put it in one sentence. Well, you can get this particular substance by eating X amount of eggs. That's what I'd done. You could have done that in one sentence. Why a 270-page document? I'm sure the WBC looked at that 270-page document and went, yeah, I'm not reading that. Let's just clear him. He said it's eggs. Okay. Because it's more hassle than it's worth, isn't it? And it's going to be exactly the same with the British Boxing Board of Control. They are going to just follow the lead of the WBC, but pretend that they're going to do something different, that they could potentially do something different. They won't do anything different. I'm telling you right now, they will clear Conor Benn. That's how it's going to be. If I'm wrong on this one, listen, I'm wrong, okay? But I suspect I won't be. When have the British Box Board of Control ever done something, stood on their own square and went, no, we believe this and this is what we're doing? Do you know why we know they're not going to do anything? Because when Conor Benn failed his first test, they didn't go, hold on a minute, we need this investigated straight away. We're going to suspend your license. No, you are not going to go ahead with a Chris Eubank Jr. fight. We're going to investigate this right now. They didn't do that. They were waiting on the WBC. Second test came in. Well, we're still not going to suspend you. Why? Because we're waiting on the WBC. So if they're going to be waiting on the WBC right before they actually pull themselves out of it, only 3 days before the fight, then what makes you think that they're going to do something different now? Now, there is one way of looking at it. If they clear Conor Benn, and that fight with Chris Eubank Jr. didn't go ahead because the British Box Board of Control pulled out of it, Conor Benn may sue them. Because that's loss of earnings, and his reputation's in tatters. Because there'll be a lot of people out there who won't believe this egg story. He will forever be seen by many as a drug cheat. That's what he'll be seen as. So the British Box Board of Control are in a bit of a difficult position, aren't they? Because they won't want to go against the WBC. And also we know this. Why? Because Charlie Giles, chairman of the British Box Board of Control, is also on the WBC committee. I mean, if that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know what is, right? Anyway, I'm going to presume he's still on the board. But I don't foresee that them doing anything different than follow the lead of the WBC. Do you? Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.